What if you woke up this morning and found your neighbor's car missing, along with the neighbor? What if, while grabbing your morning coffee, you noticed the barista vanished and in their place stood a man in a windbreaker marked ICE? No, it's not a sequel to a dystopian Netflix thriller. It's real life, and the mass deportation raids have begun. The United States of America, land of the free, unless you don't have your paperwork stapled in triplicate. On this fine morning, thousands are allegedly being deported in swift, silent operations that might just redefine the term Exodus shipping. Except it's not Amazon delivering, it's ICE collecting. It's like DoorDash, only instead of burritos, they're rounding up people. So here we are. The mass deportation games have begun. A reality show nobody signed up for, but somehow everyone is starring in. The rules? Simple. If you've got a final deportation order and you're on ICE's radar, it might be your last dance in the land of fast food and freedom fries. And, just like every season of Survivor, alliances are breaking, trust is disappearing, and somebody's getting voted off the island, except this time, the island is America. This is not just another random crackdown, it's a full-on campaign, a coordinated sweep, an enforcement extravaganza. ICE isn't just knocking on doors. They're steamrolling through communities, clipboard in one hand, cuff in the other. They're not looking for a conversation, they're looking for people. No one's dropping mixtapes, they're dropping deportation notices. Major cities are the prime targets, and urban neighborhoods with strong immigrant roots are feeling the pressure. Los Angeles, Chicago, Houston, Miami. If your town has good tacos, strong accents and diverse grocery aisles, it's probably on the list. Local law enforcement? Divided. Some play tag team with ICE, others refuse to be caught on camera cooperating. Mayors of sanctuary cities are issuing strong-worded statements and motivational tweets. Meanwhile, residents are deleting WhatsApp messages and whispering in corners like they're in an old spy movie. Trust has left the building. Word spreads fast. Social media posts trigger adrenaline. ICE is on 42nd Street. They just hit a laundromat in Koreatown. Panic spreads faster than TikTok trends. Schools are half empty, supermarkets feel like ghost towns, and community centers, let's just say bingo night has been cancelled. Lawyers are overwhelmed, hotlines are on fire, everyone is calling someone who knows someone who might be at risk. In immigrant neighborhoods, life has turned into a daily game of Where's Waldo? Except Waldo is hiding from government agents, not tourists with cameras. From a legal standpoint, ICE has the right to detain and deport anyone with a final removal order. But this ain't about the what, it's about the how. Reports are emerging that some detainees haven't been given a chance to make a phone call, let alone contact a lawyer. Due process? That depends on who you ask. ICE claims they're strictly following procedure. Advocacy groups scream foul play. Somewhere in the middle, the Constitution is sitting in a corner, thumbing through its pages wondering if anyone still remembers the Fourth Amendment. Supporters of the raids are flexing hard. Law and order, they say. National security, they chant. To them, this is a long overdue cleanup, an administrative detox. But critics see a political theater, staged with real lives as props. There's no middle ground. You either think ICE is the country's janitor or its bulldozer. Some politicians wear the operation like a badge of honor, tweeting about how America is taking its country back. Others stand on podiums calling it an abuse of power. Congress, predictably, does what Congress does best: argue and pass nothing. But let's not forget the economic elephant in the room. While ICE is busy extracting humans like bad teeth, industries are nervously checking their rosters. Who's going to pick the strawberries, flip the burgers, build the houses, clean the offices? Business owners in agriculture, construction, and hospitality are breaking out in cold sweats. Some are even begging ICE to leave them at least some of their workforce. The irony is bitter. The very system that relies on undocumented labor is now panicking over losing it. This isn't just about criminals with shady pasts. Reports suggest many of those targeted have been in the US for over a decade. They've paid taxes, they've raised families, they've never broken a law other than existing without papers. Some have kids born here, Kids who now face the real possibility of coming home from school to an empty house. But hey, in the world of blanket enforcement, nuance is a luxury no one can afford. If you're caught in the net, you're out, no matter how long you've lived here, what you've contributed, or how much you've assimilated. News outlets are having a field day. Cable panels are lit. One side is calling it fascism, the other calls it patriotism. Anchors say we must look at both sides, even though one side includes deporting a guy who's worked at a bakery for 17 years and volunteers at church. Social media has become a circus. Hashtags, viral videos, live streams of arrests. Everyone has an opinion, and facts are somewhere buried beneath the noise. The truth has to elbow its way through TikTok rants and reaction videos just to be heard. What happens when an entire population lives in fear? You get silence. You get kids too scared to go to school. You get parents texting their children goodbye in case they get picked up on the way to work. You get people who avoid hospitals, even when they're sick. The fear spreads like mold. Quietly, invisibly. And soon, no one trusts anyone. Not the landlord, not the cop, not even the cashier. Communities shrink, withdraw. The laughter fades. It's survival mode, 24/7. Let's step back and look at the big picture. Deportation isn't just a policy decision, it's a domino that knocks over families, neighborhoods, and economies. For every person deported, there's a trail of tears. A mother without a son, a child without a father, a business without a worker. But these aren't the stories that make it to the nightly news. You won't hear about Maria, who got deported 2 days after renewing her library card, or Ahmed, who missed his daughter's graduation because he was taken during a morning jog. These aren't dramatic enough for prime time. And what's next? More raids? A bigger net? A televised deportation lottery? The line between enforcement and spectacle is getting thinner by the day. If this continues, we might see ICE agents sponsored by brands and raids live-streamed for ratings. Tonight on Fox, ICE hits Phoenix. Policy has become performance. Reality has been edited for shock value. And the people caught in it, they're just trying to survive the episode. This isn't routine. It's not mundane. It's not just enforcing the law. It's a moral earthquake, shaking the foundation of what a just society should look like. If justice means zero tolerance, then mercy has left the chat. And the worst part? This isn't the climax. It's just the first act. There's more to come. More sweeps, more statements, more legal limbo, and all the while real lives are caught in a system that runs like a machine and thinks like a spreadsheet. So what now? Do we wait for the next headline? Do we scroll through the hashtags like sad voyeurs watching democracy struggle in real time? Or do we ask bigger questions about who gets to stay, who gets to go, and who gets forgotten in between? Because when the dust settles and the headlines move on, someone's story will still be unfinished. A child will still cry at night, a room will still sit empty, and a country that once prided itself on liberty will have to decide if that liberty is still open to all, or just those with the right paperwork. There's one thing America knows how to do, with dramatic flair. It's deport people. Not just one or two at a time, but in thousands. Pack 'em, stack 'em, and fly 'em back. What's happening now isn't just policy enforcement. It's a full-blown political production, complete with flashing red lights, government buzzwords, and enough confusion to make your head spin faster than a TSA luggage carousel. Mass deportation has become the hottest new reality show on American soil, except there are no scripts, no rehearsals, and no commercial breaks. Just real lives being boxed up and relocated with little more than a clipboard and a federal badge. But let's not pretend this is something new. America has always had a complicated relationship with immigration. The land of opportunity has a long habit of rolling out the red carpet one decade and the armored tanks the next. The Statue of Liberty invites you with open arms, but ICE might meet you at the dock with handcuffs. The hypocrisy isn't just ironic, it's systematic, built into the very bones of the system. And now, the current wave of enforcement feels less like routine operations and more like a nationwide panic attack. Sure, the Department of Homeland Security wants you to believe these are targeted actions, but when doors are being kicked down at 5 a.m. and parents are being taken in front of screaming children, no amount of press releases can spin that into diplomacy. It's raw, brutal enforcement. And what about the children left behind? Ah yes, the invisible casualties. Schools report drops in attendance, daycares have empty cribs, teachers say kids are showing up in shock, hungry, anxious, and afraid. Some kids go to sleep with backpacks packed just in case mum or dad doesn't come home. But don't worry, the official line says these aren't raids. Apparently, when you slap a bureaucratic label on it, it no longer counts as trauma. This mass enforcement rollout has ignited a civil Cold War between sanctuary cities and the federal government. On one side, you've got ICE agents driving black SUVs like they're filming a Netflix crime series. On the other side, local leaders issuing statements in front of murals saying, "Not in our city." The whole thing would be hilarious if it wasn't so disturbingly real. In cities like Chicago, New York, and Los Angeles, mayors are practically arm wrestling with federal officers over who gets to protect or prosecute the immigrants within their borders. It's urban versus federal, liberal versus conservative, empathy versus enforcement. A national tug-of-war where the rope is made of human lives. Meanwhile, advocacy groups are pulling overtime shifts, legal hotlines are flooded, non-profit lawyers are sleeping under desks, and community centers are becoming de facto war rooms. One attorney joked that their legal team hasn't seen sunlight in 3 days. But it's not funny. Not really. These people are the last line of defense against a system that can turn your entire existence into a court case overnight. And here's the kicker, the targets aren't always who you'd expect. We're not talking about hardened criminals, despite what certain press releases want you to believe. Many of the detained are workers, cleaners, gardeners, delivery drivers, parents with tax IDs, students who've lived here longer than they've lived anywhere else. They've built lives, quietly, without fanfare. And now the system's come to rip those lives up by the roots. This isn't law enforcement, it's life disruption on a grand scale. And the media? Oh, they're having a field day. Depending on your channel of choice, the deportations are either the righteous hand of justice or the cold blade of injustice. And every pundit wants a slice. One anchor calls it an immigration renaissance. Another shouts, state-specific cruelty. But nobody's explaining what happens to the businesses that suddenly lose 60% of their staff overnight, or how kids are supposed to focus on their spelling tests after witnessing their parents being dragged out of the house. Even the police departments are caught in the middle. Local cops are being asked to either cooperate or keep their mouths shut. Some officers sympathize, others shrug. A few wear MAGA hats on patrol. It's chaotic, uncoordinated, and impossible to standardize. One officer might ignore a detainer, another might treat jaywalking like a deportable offense. Meanwhile, social media is on fire. Videos of early morning busts go viral. Hashtags trend. People cry on TikTok, others cheer. One video showed an ICE van leaving a neighborhood while neighbors lined the street with protest signs, and just down the block, another neighbor waved a flag and clapped. It's the kind of surreal dystopia only America could produce. Neighbors divided by ideology, staring out of windows like it's 1960s Berlin. But let's talk about the economy for a moment. Oh yes, the unspoken engine behind everything. Because, whether we admit it or not, undocumented labor is what keeps the American service industry humming. Restaurant kitchens, construction crews, nursing homes, delivery trucks, all run on the backs of people who are now being rounded up and deported. So what happens when they're gone? Shortages, delays, price hikes, panic. Several business owners have already sounded the alarm. We can't find workers, they say. Nobody's applying. The irony is painful. The same workers who were vilified last month are now missed this month. Turns out they were essential all along. Who would have thought? But this is America after all. We wait until the entire machine breaks before we acknowledge the importance of a single bolt. And don't get us started on the political theater. Senators giving dramatic speeches on the Senate floor, governors issuing executive orders in front of American flags 3 times their size. Every politician wants a soundbite. Every party wants to claim moral high ground while pointing fingers. Democrats blame cruelty, Republicans blame chaos, and immigrants are stuck in the middle, like human ping-pong balls in a game they never asked to join. And while they argue, deportations continue. Planes keep flying. Families keep crying. Children keep asking, "Where's Dad?" The court system is another level of madness. Immigration courts are so backlogged they might as well schedule hearings in the year 2030. Judges are overwhelmed, cases get rushed, evidence gets lost, translators get interpreted, and people's futures get decided in 15-minute hearings that feel more like speed dating than justice. Worse still, some of these detainees didn't even know they had deportation orders. Some missed court dates due to clerical errors or mailed notices sent to old addresses. But bureaucracy has no mercy. Miss one date, and you're labeled fugitive. Doesn't matter if it was the post office's fault or your toddler flushed the letter. Then, there's the fear factor. Not just among the undocumented, but among everyone. Green card holders, DACA recipients, even naturalized citizens are double-checking their paperwork. One woman in Texas reportedly carried her citizenship certificate in her purse every day, just in case. Imagine living in a country where being brown and having an accent makes you a walking target. And still, there are those cheering this on from the sidelines. Keyboard warriors screaming, "Deport them all!" between sips of energy drink in their parents' basements. They say, if you broke the law, you pay the price. But life isn't that binary. It's messy, complicated, and filled with gray zones the size of Arizona. Most immigrants didn't break the law. They tried to survive it. Let's be honest, America doesn't want to fix immigration. It wants to weaponize it, use it as a wedge issue, milk it for votes, stir up fear, rile up the base. But it refuses to have an honest conversation about why people come in the first place. Poverty, violence, corruption, dreams. People don't walk 1,500 miles for fun. They do it because staying behind might mean death. They come here hoping for work, safety, not handouts, just a shot. But now, that shot is being taken away by force. And what will this moment be remembered for? Years from now, when we look back, will we say this was about enforcing the law, or will we remember it as a shameful chapter, a time when fear ruled policy and compassion was cancelled? The truth is, no country can deport its way to order. You can't solve a broken system by breaking more lives. You can't legislate empathy, but you can destroy it. One family at a time. Mass deportations are not justice. They're a confession that we failed to fix the system, so we're burning the people stuck inside it. And if you think this is the end of the show, think again. The gears are still turning. New bills are being drafted in quiet offices, while families are being torn apart in broad daylight. Immigration isn't just policy anymore, it's political currency. Every election cycle revives the same tired debate, with new slogans but the same bitter taste. Politicians shake hands on stages while ICE knocks on doors in silence. But here's what they don't tell you. Deportation doesn't erase people. It doesn't undo their contributions, their sacrifices, or their roots. You can exile bodies, but not memories, not legacies. The kid who watched his mum get taken away today, he'll grow up. He'll vote, and maybe, just maybe, he'll change the system that stole his childhood. Because here's the truth buried beneath the headlines. Immigration is not a problem. It's a mirror. And right now, that mirror is showing us everything we don't want to see. Our fear, our ignorance, and our willingness to look away when it's inconvenient. But sooner or later, we'll have to stop looking away. Because the people we're deporting, they were never the threat. The real threat is what we become if we keep pretending this is justice. So here we are, watching a nation unravel itself one ICE van at a time. A country built by immigrants now tearing them out like weeds. A place that prides itself on liberty, currently handcuffing the very people chasing that dream. If this is the solution, then maybe we've been asking the wrong question. If you made it this far, you're clearly one of the thinkers, the challengers, the ones who don't just swallow headlines. So, take a second, hit that like button, drop a comment below. What do you think of these mass deportation raids? And don't forget to subscribe, because next time,